Hey, what's going on, guys? So the Russian government is expanding its crackdown on online privacy tools, and that does include VPNs, unfortunately. VPNs and encrypted messaging apps like Signal, Telegram are increasingly portrayed as threats to state security. And human rights experts are warning that this is part of a wider campaign against human rights, shrinking digital freedom and increasing surveillance and censorship, and forcing even VPNs to register with authorities, blocking unregistered ones, and pressuring service providers to filter traffic and hand over the traffic to the Russian government and governments in general. So the goal for governments, at least, is to control the information flow and cut citizens off from independent media and limit private communication as much as possible, which is not very good for anybody that cares about expressing their opinions or at least having access to different opinions. So the bill that was approved essentially is, as you can tell here, the Russian parliament approves a bill punishing online searches for information deemed extremist. So even if you're just searching for something that is deemed extremist, you could be labeled a criminal, which is, well, not so good. Even typing words like LGBT movement or any banned groups could lead to fines or jail time. And this applies even if content isn't consumed. The act of searching itself is punishable. And this is certainly next level censorship. This is essentially targeting intent itself, not even just consumption. So if you are a curious person and might search something that the government doesn't want you to search for, you might be punished for that. And it's really scary. It's a very scary idea. So basically, citizens in Russia now face risks for searching, and the access to VPNs is slowly shrinking. VPNs, of course, are still the one and only way to bypass all of this, but you do want to look for a VPN that isn't based in Russia or doesn't share information with Russia. So that's the main thing that's going to get you out of that situation. So there's VPNs like Proton VPN. Now, the reason I like to recommend Proton is that for anybody that isn't really familiar with what VPNs are and they don't necessarily want to pay upfront for a year for a VPN, they might just want to try it for a month or so. Proton is free, but there are limitations. One of the nicest things about Proton is that it doesn't collect or share your information, and there's no data cap, and you have access to like 5 countries. So this is really nice if you're looking for a free VPN. Of course, the speed will be limited and the number of countries that are available to you are also limited at around 5. You won't be able to stream or torrent because obviously these services or these privileges are reserved for paying customers of Proton. And if you do decide to get Proton, I'll leave a link in the description. It's actually a really good VPN. But me personally, what I use as far as a VPN, like a daily driver for a VPN that is just very quick, I like to go with ExpressVPN. This is the paid VPN that I like to recommend. And again, mostly here in this specific case, it shouldn't be dealing with Russia. So VPN shouldn't have ties to Russia, and it shouldn't have any servers that are based in Russia so that they're not forced to share them. In fact, ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and Surfshark, and a few other VPNs pulled out of Russia and countries like India as well, where the government was cracking down on the freedom of sharing information, and they were passing legislations that would allow these governments to basically force these VPNs and tech companies to share information with the government. So VPNs that don't do that, well, it's a good sign. So these are the VPNs that I would personally recommend if you're looking to avoid censorship in Russia. These are the VPNs that I would recommend: Express, Nord, Surfshark, Proton VPN. And what's cool is, again, they're all based outside of Russia, and they do allow you to access streaming services, for example. I mean, if you didn't know, you can access different streaming libraries. So if there's a specific show that is not available on Russian Netflix, but it is available on, let's say, UK Netflix, you can connect to a UK server and then go to Netflix and you'll be viewing the UK library. That's how it works. So I just wanted to share with you guys some of the best options as far as VPNs if you're looking to bypass the censorship in Russia. Again, that'll be Express, NordVPN. Proton VPN is a great option for those of you that are looking for a free VPN, but the paid option is also an excellent VPN, and I would highly recommend it just as much as Express. I just personally like Express because it's very simple to use. As you can tell, it couldn't be any simpler than this. And so again, that'll be it for my recommendation. As far as how to use the VPN, it's very simple. Once you've downloaded the VPN, again, I'll leave the links in the description down below and you can get a discount. And by the way, Express and Nord, they do have a 7-day free trial. I believe it's still available if you just download it on your mobile phone and you can try it out. So once you've downloaded the VPN, you can just head to locations and pick a country that doesn't have any weird censorship laws like the Netherlands, or I like to connect to Switzerland. Once you're connected, you just, double click whatever country that you like, and you can go to what is my IP address, just to double check that you're indeed connected to the right server. And now you know that whatever you're seeing here is your new location. So if the government try to look into your traffic, they won't know what's going on, because there's nothing that is happening on your real IP address and location. It's all happening on the secured location and secured IP of ExpressVPN, for example. So that'll be it for this video. Again, I'll leave everything in the description down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.